So I was reflecting the other day on a story we all grew up hearing, and I haven't been able to quite look at it the same since. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So a little girl walks into a house that isn't hers while the owners are gone. She doesn't knock, she doesn't ask, she just goes in. She tastes their porridge, too hot, too cold, just right. She sits in their chairs, one's too big, one's too soft, one breaks. She climbs into their beds, tries them out, picks the one that feels best to her, falls asleep there. And we've always treated it like a harmless fairy tale. But the more I think about it, the more it feels like a case study in entitlement. Now, psychology describes entitlement as the belief that you deserve access, comfort, or control without earning it. It's centering your preferences in spaces that don't belong to you. That's exactly what happens in the story. Everything is filtered through her comfort. Too hot, too cold, too hard, too soft. The house isn't evaluated on its own terms. It's evaluated on how well it serves her. She doesn't adapt to the space is expected to adapt to her. And what's interesting is how culturally familiar that feels. We live in a time where people move into spaces and immediately begin defining what belongs. Where presence alone becomes authority, where unfamiliarity is treated as threat instead of difference, where entire communities are evaluated not on their own terms, but on how well they align with someone else's idea of order. Sometimes it looks like policy, sometimes it looks like protection, sometimes it sounds like we're just restoring standards. But the pattern is older than the language. If I'm here, I must have the right to inspect. If I'm uncomfortable, something must be corrected. If I don't recognize it, I reserve the right to question it. And notice how the tension of the story is framed. We're taught to worry about her when the bears come home. The suspense centers on whether she'll get caught. But the bears are the ones whose food was eaten. The bears are the ones whose chair was broken. The bears are the one whose privacy was violated. Yet culturally, we soften her behavior. We say, she's curious, she's innocent, she didn't mean harm. And that's how entitlement often presents itself. Not as aggression, as normalcy, as responsibility, as doing whatever feels necessary. No, I am not a psychologist, and no, I'm not diagnosing anything. I just think it's interesting how a children's story can quietly normalize intrusion while making the intruder the sympathetic character. Maybe that's why it stuck with me. Because sometimes the loudest shifts in a culture don't start with shouting. They start with who feels entitled to walk in. Healing starts with knowing. Follow for more. So I was reflecting the other day on a story we all grew up hearing, and I have
Alright, peace and blessings to the chosen Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Hashem Al Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim pushing his truth for sincerity and charity. I'm the brother Yalad, and responding to that video in the intro, to simply just say, at some point you do have to relearn what you have learned through the different lenses to understand what you were being taught, why you were being taught, and who you were being taught by. Because Revelation 12:9 says, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." And how did he deceive the whole world? This is one of those ways. He got to the children. He, some said, he put the father in jail, he put the mother in church, and he put the kids in his indoctrination school. And what did the kids do? Being young and naive, they received the doctrines. Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So Esau, Edom, is that Satan. He is that light bearer. He is that person that deceived the world and spread his doctrines. White supremacy, Christianity, democracy. He spreaded those doctrines of do as thou will, and told the world that he was God. He is that light bearer, which means Lucifer, because he holds his idea of wisdom in the world. Isaiah 14:12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut off down to the ground? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And when you skip down, it's saying Lucifer, but when it skips down, it says in 16, is this the man that made the earth tremble? So this is a human. This Satan, this devil are the Edomites, the Idumeans, the self-proclaimed white people. They went around the world and weakened the nations. They went around the world conquering and pillaging, and they spread their philosophies. They indoctrinated Verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven and exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mountain of congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like to the Most High. And what did he do? He made an image of Caesar Borgia, and he called that God. He said that was the Son of God. He put his image up there. First Maccabees 3:48, and laid open in the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So he went into this book and said, let me make David look like me. Let me make the Son of God look like me. Let me make all these people look like me. And then when he conquered and pillaged the world, he told them that looking like me is better. So whiten your race, and created that doctrine. So it continues. Isaiah 14 and 15 says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. So this heaven is talking about essentially a fourth heaven, which is rulership. And this hell is talking about being cast down to the opposite of rulership, to subjection. Now, the hell is not a place, but it's a condition. There's nobody will be burning forever. That's not what the scriptures say. That's not that's off. All right, Jonah was in hell. He was in the belly of the whale, and it says while he was in hell, he cried out, and the Lord heard him. That's just a quick side note to prove that the hell doctrine is wrong, right? The hell and death will be cast into the lake of fire to be destroyed, which means that the lake of fire isn't even here yet. And that's a whole nother topic to get into. But I'm making that side note to make that clear, that when these devils are cast down to hell, that means they're going to be put into subjection at the lowest, because right now they're sitting at the top of the world. In verse 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the whole earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Right. So, let me see. Yeah, and then I want to add, you have to really consider what the things that think twice about the things you came up learning, because they're not necessarily correct. The whole point of this Goldilocks video is to kind of stir and jog your mind about the children's stories you grew up learning, like the Peter Pan. You got to spell these things out. Peter Pan is a spiritual child. He wants to be a boy forever. He's lived for many years, enough to be grown, many years enough to be an adult, but he don't want to be an adult, right? And he takes kids to a place called Neverland, where kids never come back. Spell that out. Does Peter Pan sound like the good guy? Does he sound like the protagonist, a boy that never wants to grow up, and he take kids places they never come back from? But this is the indoctrination that he puts in the mind of kids to prepare them to be preyed upon, to make you ready to serve pedophiles, to make you complacent in him murdering you or raping you. So Sirach 3:23, be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are shewed unto thee than men understand. And I'm harping on that more things showed than you understand, because there's more than meets the eye. And that's why you have to really kind of think about certain things that you may have grew up on. Like, that was a doctrine of white supremacy that I learned, that was forced on me as a child. I shouldn't partake in that anymore. I shouldn't believe in that idea anymore, or I shouldn't give any credence to that place anymore. You see what I'm saying? But these are just a few children's stories that we were told that help promote evil and wickedness in the world. You see what I'm saying? So how much more other indoctrinations. But nevertheless, I'm gonna leave it at that, and give them mighty shalom, Kwam Yasharala, Wa Ba Ba.